Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the English Support Podcast. So, today I'm joined by Denisa Gogu, who is a lecturer here at the Manchester campus of Elizabeth School of London. And she has some brilliant stories to share with us today, and I think the conversation is going to be a really engaging one for anyone who is learning or working in a second language or any other kind of language. Okay, so Denisa, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm very happy to be here with you and to have this discussion.
Okay, it's my pleasure. So, to start us off, Denisa, could you tell us a bit about your role here at the Elizabeth School of London and what you teach?
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Denisa, and I'm the marketing lecturer here at the Elizabeth School of London in Manchester. And I teach a lot of marketing courses related, such as Introduction to Marketing, Digital Marketing, Social Media Marketing, Communication Skills.
Right, okay. So I'm sure you'll be a familiar face on campus for a lot of our students, and I'm sure you have a good rapport with them, definitely.
Thank you so much. I hope my colleagues do the same, they have the same a good reputation for me.
Oh, I'm sure of that. So, I mean, in case our listeners don't know, you are originally from Romania. So, what was your experience like learning English while you were growing up?
Yes, I'm originally from Bucharest, the capital of Romania, and I had the opportunity to study English since I was very little. I studied in a British kindergarten, so my teachers were British actually, and then I continued my studies in a British institute environment till my parents decided to move me to a public school in order to finalize my exams in Romanian baccalaureate style.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I moved to the UK in order to study at the University of Manchester.
Okay, well, that leads us nicely on to the next question that I had for you, which is what actually led you to study in the UK? And did you find the transition from the Romanian system to the UK system difficult?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. So, as probably a lot of people in the campus do not know, I was also a professional swimmer. I just retired last year and I was training for Olympic Games. So, it's very related to also my sports life. So, my answer will be related both academically but also related to sport life. I had the opportunity to train with the Manchester City swim team, and I had the opportunity to represent them at national, international championships. And at the same time, I had the opportunity to apply for a scholarship in order to continue my studies at the University of Manchester. To answer your second question, it was very, very challenging in reality to move from Romania to the UK, both personally but also academically. A lot of my students, if they will follow this podcast, already know the story because I told them multiple times that in the first 2-3 months when I was in the UK, I wanted to go back home in Romania every single day. Yeah, quite motivational. But in reality, look at me. I'm here for 9 years, and I finished my undergrad, postgrad, and master and PhD at the University of Manchester. But it was extremely challenging because academic English and academic English at university level is it takes a lot of practice in reality. It doesn't go very straightforward, and I feel like now I can say I'm a bit more confident in my academic English because I just finished writing my PhD.
Okay, so it's kind of a long journey, but your advice is if you stick with it, you will get there in the end. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you did just mention your PhD, and you have very recently finished, so I have to congratulate you on that. It's such an achievement. But what was it like doing such a big academic project in what would be your second language?
Thanks a lot for congratulations. It was again quite challenging, even though when I started my PhD, I had quite a lot of experience in the university because I've studied in the same university for 4 years. I knew already my supervisors because they were my lecturers. So somehow the transition was a bit easier than in other cases when people just move for studying a PhD. But what was very hard, it was that the PhD level, everyone expected to be very high, and
Mhm.
it is very high. So I had to push a lot myself to learn new phrases, to learn even better academic English. And I had to read a lot in reality. In my first year of PhD, I remember that I had to read, I think, 100 journals, books, in order to be able to have a good idea about what I'm going to continue to write about.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like it is a colossal task, even in your own language. But to do it in a second language, it must make it just that little bit more difficult.
Yeah, but I want to say thank you for everyone who supported me on the journey, because in reality, I wasn't alone in this journey. I had English support tutors. I
Mhm.
had my supervisors, definitely, which help a lot. And even at the end of my PhD, I had a copy editor that helped me. And I just have to say massive thank you, because again, I learned so many things on the way of the process. One of my friends here just told me when I submitted my thesis, enjoy being in the process of becoming. And
Mhm.
I think that was crucial. It was amazing.
Okay, very inspirational there, definitely. Um, so, was there a moment where you truly felt confident using academic English, or did you feel it was more of a gradual builder?
Yeah, exactly how I previously said. It was an entire process. I wanted to do it here like a comparisons with my swimming life. When I started to train with Manchester City and I tried to qualify for Olympics, it was 20 years of swimming before that. It wasn't straightforward.
Mm,
And it's the same with academic English. It's about 10 proper years of studying and of getting used with completely different norms and different strategies of learning in reality.
mm.
And definitely it's a process. And this is, again, if I can give an advice for my students and for all the students in general, don't expect to be perfect from the start. If you would see my PhD reviews, in the moment when I was doing the PhD, our supervisors gives us quite a lot of reviews.
Mm,
And they tell you how you should continue. The first time when I saw it, I was like, no, it cannot be possible.
mm.
But even at this level, I'm telling you, we learn a lot, and it's just a process, and you need to enjoy the process instead of being very worried about it.
So, do you think there are some kind of similarities then? Because if you're a professional athlete, you must think that you never do a perfect run. When you're in the pool, there's never one length that you swim where it is absolutely perfect. There is always something to improve upon. Would you agree?
Yes, I completely agree. And uh, again, like I would like to discuss a bit more about this. I want to take this opportunity because at the point this affected a lot my mental health, because I was so perfectionist that even when I won multiple medals, I became the English national champion. I'm the Romanian national champion for many years.
Mhm.
I went for international championships, Europeans, and so on. Even when I achieved those goals, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy because it was one small thing that didn't work out well.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah, I feel in academia it's the same, and with the English is the same. It never can go like perfect, and perfect is it's very hard to be defined in reality. It's no perfection, but it's very important not to be very tough with yourself, and just to learn from it. The next time it will be better for sure.
Exactly. So that's That's what we try to repeat to students sometimes, that, sometimes perfect is the enemy of good. We shouldn't aim to be perfect, so to speak, but to make progress, to be able to see progress. So thinking back to your time as a student, what do you feel helped you the most with developing your academic English? Were there any websites or any apps or some other techniques that helped you to develop your English?
One of my PhD supervisors, when I started to write my thesis, told me, Denisa, look at how the others do. And I know I'm not saying copy pasting because that's plagiarism. I'm just saying read a lot and look at their style and learn from their style. So I was looking at the people that do the same case study as me, and I was looking how can you address writing a case study. When I was a student, exactly like before becoming a PhD student, it was exactly the same. I was looking on the journal articles, publications, books, how people write. And beside this exercise of just looking at the expressions and making myself, I have a notebook with all the expressions I learned. So everything that for me, it wasn't casual. And I observed like, oh, why did they put on the one hand on the other hand? I made notes of it. And I started to practice by using myself. And another very important stuff that I learned is exposing yourself to the language and culture of the country you are in. I had a massive opportunity to be around people around the world who learn English exactly like me, and we learn from each other. Cross learning is definitely the best learning, in my opinion.
All right. So I hope our students were listening there. There's some very, very good advice. Um, so thinking about your students more generally, are there any common language issues you notice in students' work, and what advice would you give them to overcome some of these issues?
Yes, probably one of the challenges they face is that they try to translate direct from their own language, from the mother language.
Mhm,
And I did that, to be honest. But it's not working most of the cases because English has a different structure, especially in the phrase.
mhm,
If I can recommend something to them, instead of translating or using translators, digital translators, like I'm not going to say any names, but
yeah.
you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those probably artificial intelligence help or computer-based help is not translating exactly like in an academic professional way. So my best advice for them, instead of taking a shortcut and translating their words or translating their ideas or translating straightforward from Romanian, Spanish, Portuguese, German to English,
Mhm.
is to do it exactly in the opposite way. So start reading, make your notes, and use the words you see that people use in academic journals.
All right. Very good advice there, Denise. Thank you for that. Let's talk about something outside of the classroom for a moment then. So, you recently ran a marathon, which is incredible. So, can you tell us a little bit more, about the marathon and also more about your relationship with sports?
I really like this question a lot. People who knows me, they know that I love education, but if it's something that I love a lot, is definitely sports and education. I feel they always work well together. Well, so just to give a quick brief, I was training for Olympic Games for 20 years, and last year I decided to retire from my career as a professional swimmer.
Mhm,
And it was a challenging moment in my life because imagine training 5, 6, 7 hours per day every single day of your life since you are 5 years old.
mhm,
So I'm honest with you, it started a bit of a crisis moment
mhm,
because there were that 5 hours where I was like, what I'm gonna do now? What next?
mhm,
And I've seen a lot of people running marathons, and I started easy to run 5 kilometers in a park run, and I'm very competitive, obviously, because I was competing all my life since I'm 5 years old. And I started to win the park runs. So me and my partner, we made the decision to book ourselves for a marathon. And it was very, very challenging, more than people probably expect, because we had to train during the winter in Manchester. We train in 5 degrees conditions, in very, very raining days. We had to run during the trainings even 30, 32 kilometers per day. So it wasn't as easy as I expected, but I'm very proud and I'm very happy that we managed to finish it. And it's turning back to education, because I really want my students and all the students to take this note. It's just the process. When I start running, I was a swimmer. I used to swim. I didn't know how to run. And then I start running 5 kilometers, then 10, then 20. And I finish in 6 months, 42 kilometers marathon in 4 hours. So trust the process, really. Train hard and trust the process in everything you are doing.
Yeah, so it must have taken a lot of discipline and resilience and stamina to get you through the marathon. But when you were completing your PhD, were there any other things from sport that you could take and that could help you stay focused during the process?
I was extremely lucky that when I was writing my PhD at the same time, I was training to qualify for Olympic Games. And I know it will sound a bit hectic for most of the people. How can you do both? Because I was training at that point 7 hours per day. And when I wasn't training, I was in the university. And I started my program I'm saying that for 8 years program. So not just for a few weeks. So for 8 years, I started my days at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was swimming for 4 hours. Then I went to my classes, and I prepared for my PhD. And then I had to jump in the pool at 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. again. So that were my daily program. I know, again, probably for a lot of people will be, wow, how this can help you. It helps you because it gives you a lot of structure. I couldn't postpone things. I didn't have the opportunity to say, oh, you know what, I cannot do this today, because tomorrow I had other tasks to accomplish. And because the time frame was so packed for me, it really helped me to stay extremely focused and just do it. Really.
Right. Okay, so as long as you have your targets and you're working towards your targets, then you're definitely on the right path. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I hope you don't mind if we come back to language for a second. So, do you, now that you're in Manchester and you've been settled in the UK for a few years, do you still use Romanian much in your daily life? And how do you find the switching between English and Romanian?
Well, I started to use more Romanian lately. I speak with my parents most of the time, because even though I studied in a British kindergarten and I had to speak English, they were very keen for me to speak Romanian at home. So always I talk with them in Romanian. Most of my friends speak just English, so I don't have that opportunity to exercise my Romanian with them. And at home, I speak Spanish also. And I'm very close to a Spanish community, Latino community of people. So I try to speak a good Spanish. I'm trying my best. To answer your question, how is to switch between these three languages? It's not as smooth as I thought it will be. Sometimes I make confusions. Sometimes I'm writing the things. I try to write in Romanian, but I write in English. Sometimes even when I'm in the classes, if I just had a phone call with my parents in Romanian and I jump in the class afterwards, I'm like, oh, okay, it's English time, Denisa. So I still have those issues, but I also want to take this opportunity to tell a message to my students. Don't worry. In reality, the fact that you don't pronounce a word in a perfect way, the fact that sometimes you don't do the perfect translation, or the fact that you try to explain me something and probably I didn't get it, is not the end of the world. It's perfect. We are humans and it's completely fine. And again, I was exposed to the English language since I'm super young, but I still do confusions, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, in the end, it is just experimenting with language, and you can't really go wrong in that situation. You mentioned a little bit earlier of going from, from the British kindergarten to the Romanian education system, and then coming to the UK for higher education. But when you did come to the UK, did you have any problems adjusting to some of those cultural differences between Romania and the UK?
Yes, I faced a lot of challenges and a lot of experiences at the start, and also because probably I was very young, I didn't know very well how to deal with it. But again, turning back to, if I can say something, is just trust the process, and somehow I did it, even if at that young stage I didn't know that I should just trust the process. There is a massive difference in cultures between Romania and the UK, and my PhD is talking about that. I'm talking about the vocational education training system and about how the UK system is trying to integrate non national qualifications in the UK. So it's very different. I'm telling from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the massive differences I had to face, and I had to get myself ready for it, it was that in Romania, we normally go in school and we have to follow what the lecturer tell us. So the lecturers tell us the content, they tell us what we have to write, and we have to learn that by default, and then you get a good grade. Well, in UK, it's not like that. In UK, it's exactly the opposite. No one tells you what you have to do. They provide you the materials that you have to read. You read whatever you feel comfortable to read. You expand that reading with what you think that is good for you, and you create your opinion. And everyone here is very keen to hear your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So from a Romanian system where I had no opinion
Mm-hmm.
to the British system where my opinion was very important, it was a massive challenge in terms of school, vocational education training, and culture overall. Because everyone, even when you talk with the people, hey Denisa, what do you think about that? And for me, that question was like, oh, I didn't learn about it. I don't know what to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very good point. It's the mixture of having the knowledge of something, but also being able to critically analyze it as well, using your own justifications. And I know our students are maybe surprised by this when they come to the British higher education system, but it seems like you are setting them up well for their future here. So thanks again for that. So, but we'll finish off in a second. But before that, I've just got a couple of quick fire questions for you, if you don't mind. So, as you mentioned, you've been in the UK for a while and you've had long exposure to English in general. But do you have a favorite English phrase or idiom you'd like to share with the rest of us?
I have a motto that I follow in my life is just do it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that needs any explanation.
Yes.
Um, so the next one, is there a Romanian word or phrase that you wish existed in English?
Yes, I love the word called bunăstare.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what does that mean for anyone here who's not a Romanian speaker?
It's very complicated to translate it, but bunăstare is a feeling of accomplishment, of happiness, of when you enter in a place and you feel that's your place and you feel secure, happy, and ready to do whatever you have to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds like something that could be useful. That it seems it would have to be a full phrase or a couple of sentences to explain that in English.
Yes.
Um, Is there one thing that you miss from home?
It's not a thing. It's in reality an animal. I miss a lot my dog, Hara.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So we'll give a shout out there to her. Yes.
Yes. I always mention her. She's a black Labrador,
Mm.
and it's something I completely miss. I talk with my parents every day. I know what she's doing. I see her. I see pictures and everything, and I'm traveling home as many times as I can, and I spend time with her. I really love her.
Hey. All right. So a big hello to Hara there. Um, is there one thing you love about living in the UK?
Oh, there are many things actually. I really feel UK now is my home, and I live here for 9 years. Probably the best thing is the multiculturalism. Having people around the world, talking with people from around the world, having students, but also colleagues from around the world, for me, it's impressive. I learned so many things, and I'm extremely happy to be in this environment.
Mhm. All right. So, you're a lecturer. You need some caffeine hit, I guess, during the day. But please tell me, are you a tea person or are you a coffee person?
I'm a coffee person for sure, and I need a lot of coffee, especially when I mark hundreds of transcripts. So yes, I'm definitely a coffee person.
All right. Okay. So now we know what type of person you are. That's good. All right. So, Denisa, thank you very much for sharing your story today. Congratulations again on your PhD, and I'm sure a lot of our students will find your journey really inspiring. So, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and I really, really hope that the students can take a key message from here. Enjoy the process, just do it, and I'm sure at the end you will be extremely happy with the decisions of learning in an environment that will help you to become a better yourself. And I wish to everyone, not just to my students, good luck with your careers, and don't worry that much.
All right. Thank you very much, then, Denisa. Bye bye.
Bye.